Welcome back to Grassroots Radio Colorado on KLZ 560. This is Kris Cook, and I have now finally been joined by the pair of them, Cori and Andy Pates of the Party of Choice. Cori, we're so glad to have you back.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad to be back.
Yes, and I don't have to stock up on Andy's meds.
No, it gets kind of expensive.
It does. Oh. It does.
Only the best.
Only the best for you, my dear. So where are we going to go tonight? Have you guys been watching all this stuff going on in Baltimore?
Oh my gosh, how can you not? It's crazy.
I mean, it is sort of oversaturating, but what is going on here? I mean, what is the root cause, do you think, of what's happening in Baltimore? How did we get to this point where these people are just absolutely destroying their own place?
Bush did it.
Okay.
Republicans did it. We did it. We are to blame.
Of course we are to blame. Of course we are to blame. We're always to blame.
Well, obviously, and we're going to talk about this tonight, obviously they've done nothing but embrace Democrat rule for decades.
Right.
And it's the same in every city. And the cities are spinning out of control. Baltimore's the latest one. Who knows who'll be next?
Right.
You know, we should place bets. I wonder if Vegas has odds on which city is going to spin out of control next. I mean,
like a dead pool.
Yeah, exactly. A dead pool. Okay, bad puns are over. Kris will not make another one the rest of the night.
That's not a pun. It's an actual thing.
Well, I know that, but I mean the way you used it. Never mind. Fine.
Moving on.
Now, just so you know, she's never criticizes me unless you're here. You brought this on, but I look at Baltimore and I see people running like savages and animals, and these are people who were born as giggling, wonderful children with potential,
right,
and brightness in their eyes, and wondering what they could become.
Yeah. And
the Democrats look at that and see success. I look at that and see emptiness. I see failure. That's the difference. And we'll talk about, where it comes from. But I wanted to ask you a question, if that's okay.
Oh, okay, sure.
Because first of all, I want to talk about how we feel. I want to ask Kris, and you can represent the audience here.
Okay.
Just how do you feel when you watch on TV and you see these people rioting, and then you see them interviewed and you hear nonstop blame game? Right? Just, blaming there hasn't been enough investment. People don't care about us. People don't care about what's happening in the cities. And there's trillions that have been shoveled to the cities.
Of course.
And you also hear not so veiled racism. Let's face it. Did you hear what the mayor said today?
No.
Yeah, her latest was she assured the people there would be justice. Justice would be served. And if 3 black women who are in control can't bring that, then nobody can. That's a virtual quote. I can't.
Okay.
That's all. I'm paraphrasing. It's a virtual quote.
If she's not channeling Toya Graham, the mother who went off on her son, then I think that's a incredibly horrible thing to say.
Well,
why would she even go there?
Speak for the audience. When you listen to these interviews and you see them and you see how they're running wild and then churning and constantly blaming everybody else. How do you feel?
For most of those interviews, what I feel is sorrow. I just feel an absolute sorrow. There is, and you alluded to it earlier, and I was actually having this conversation today at lunch, the amount of potential in every human being and the amount of dignity that should be respected in every single human being does not get that respect and does not find fulfillment. That potential is nowhere to be seen when you have these Democrat policies, when you have this policy of dependence, of creating a world where everyone has to rely on the government because you're playing the victimization game. You're playing the game where everyone is part of some injured class, and so therefore whatever happens in your life is not your fault, and therefore you should demand that other people pay for your life.
I feel all that too, and that's good, but you're being too nice. What else do you feel when they're shaking their finger at you, blaming you for what life has brought them.
For the rank and file rioters, that is exactly what I feel, and I can't.
No,
I can't
I'm not.
make
I'm
it.
talking more about the politicians and the people who are being interviewed, and
You start talking about Al Sharpton, you start talking about Jesse Jackson, you start talking about the mayor of Baltimore, then I feel absolute contempt.
And these councilmen who have come on and have been blaming us.
Yeah,
you feel angry, don't you?
Oh yeah.
You see, this is something we got to deal with. We are angry at the inner city. Okay? Not hateful, but
so
angry.
You're trying to make me angry, and then you're telling me that I have to deal with being angry.
No.
Are we baiting much?
Yes. But what I'm saying is this: what I'm dealing with is the reality about how we feel at times. Yeah, we also just feel sadness because of the lack of the potential that's not reached, and we'll get into that later. But we got to deal with our anger. When we want to talk to them, it's very hard because what would we like to say to them? I mean, what's our big message to these people? What is the thing we really want to say to them?
Well, I think that's part of the reason that the Toya Graham video has gone viral.
Right.
Because people are fed up. They're angry about what's going on in the inner city, and they wish they could do the same thing and go out and smack some sense into these people who are rioting.
To an entire city.
Yeah.
Basically, because it's not just the people who are rioting, it's all the people who accommodate it with their words.
And actually, I saw a cartoon. I put it on the Party of Choice Facebook page this morning. It was a police officer in his riot gear, and it said, "You've given us no choice. We're calling your mothers."
Yes.
Okay, I mean, I think that really resonated with a huge portion of the population. They're tired of this, and they want to smack some sense into some people.
What I'm getting to in our basic message is this. What we want to say is, you brought this on yourselves.
Exactly. And it's funny. I posted that exact same cartoon, and I have a liberal troll who likes to troll my page. He actually was on point this time, which is very rare. And here's what he said. He said, "I bet dollar to cents that these riots in Baltimore would have been from Akron to L.A. if you ran things quote unquote your way." And my response was, for 5 decades they've run things your way in Baltimore, and this is what's happening. So why don't, how's that working out for you?
Well, how do you blame somebody who has no influence in the culture?
Exactly.
They won't let us in.
Yeah, or to quote Sarah Palin, how's that hopey-changey thing going for you?
Exactly.
Well, she's right.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, they pick on us, they think we're a bunch of backward hicks, and yet everything we do works.
Surprise.
Yes.
Yeah, this is why we believe this stuff, is because we've seen it work.
Right, but here's the problem. When you're going at them your message is basically, you brought this on yourself, you get there, but you don't want to lead with that, and here's why. You're attacking their choice.
Right.
You're attacking their choice, and people defend their choices to the hilt. If I chose something, be it Democrat leadership for 50 years or my latest car, I want that to be the best choice possible. I don't want anybody attacking my choice. And if people feel that, they immediately put up walls and will defend it to the death.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time in my life that my parents told me I had a terrible choice in boyfriends. And I married him.
Yeah, but they were right.
Well done. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Yes.
They were right, though, and you
I'm not
didn't
making
listen.
that up either.
Yeah. Yeah, you do want to defend those choices. And it's always seems to go back when we're talking about how to have these conversations. It always seems to go back to not to having some empathy for where the person is standing in their shoes and giving them the opportunity to save face.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of what the basis for the party of choice is allowing those folks to save face, right?
Yep, and that's what we're going to do next.
Awesome. Okay, well, we're gonna give Democrats a chance to save face now. This will be good. So, and maybe I can rescue my comment that I made to my troll. I'm Kris Cook. We've got Cori and Andy Pate of the Party of Choice sitting in studio. You're listening to Grassroots Radio Colorado on KLZ 560.